Unloaded?
Somebody's hooked.
Hello, everyone. Some of you have been asking for some more vlogs to fill some space between Cinematic Excrement episodes, and here is a vlog. And I know I'm a bit late to the party on this movie because it's been out for a couple of weeks, but you know what? You asked for a vlog, you're getting one, and you will take it and you will like it. So, I finally got a chance to see The Expendables 2. I saw the first one back when it was in theaters last year. I liked it. Certainly didn't think it was perfect. It had its flaws, but overall, it was fun. You know, it was a fun action movie with a bunch of my favorite action stars, and really, what more could you ask for? That's exactly what it was supposed to be, and that's what it was. And this one is just more of the same, except cranked up to 11. I will be damned if this movie was not a fucking blast. I probably sat there in the theater just with a stupid smile on my face the whole time. Yay! That's pretty much the entire movie. The story, very simple but competent. It's pretty much enemy has nukes, or at least materials with which to make nukes. Go find them, go kill them. That's it. Yeah, very basic, but, you know, it works. The effects, pretty good for the most part. They actually did have some practical effects in the movie. A lot of CG as well. Sadly, a lot of CG blood, which I'm not a big fan of. But it didn't look too bad. I wasn't a big fan of some of the CG effects that they used for the vehicles. Like, whenever they show a computer-generated shot of their plane, you know it's fake. Especially when they have a shot later on that actually shows the real plane. It's just, it does not gel well together. There's a lot of other vehicles where they do the same thing, and it just does not work. But, you know, you can get past that. It doesn't look too bad. Yeah, beyond that, the action, ridiculously over the top. And, I mean, this is not a movie to be taken seriously, and they make that quite clear pretty much right off the bat. In fact, there's one scene during the movie when they're all fighting off a large group of enemy terrorists, and they managed to take all but one of them out. There's one guy left, and Stallone spots him. He's like, "Hey, one more!" And then he and three other guys just all of a sudden light this poor bastard up. And every single one of them just empties a clip into this guy. He had to have taken about 100 rounds, and there wasn't enough left of him to sweep into a dustpan. This one guy has been reduced from a threat to a minor inconvenience at this point, and you felt the need to turn him into salsa. Really? Was that necessary? No. Was it fun to watch? Oh, yes. Yes, it was. Oh, fuck yeah. This was great. I had a hell of a time. Let's see, and as far as the cast goes, let's just run down the list. Of course, you got Stallone, and he's his usual awesome self. Statham, he's awesome as well. Jet Li. Sadly, Jet Li was only in the movie for probably about 15 minutes, if that. Which sucked. I don't know if he had like a prior commitment and couldn't be in the whole thing, or if he just didn't want to be in the entire script for whatever reason. I don't know, but yeah, it was kind of sad. He was awesome in the first one, and now pretty much has a glorified well, no, it's more than just a cameo, but still, it would have been nice to see more of him. Who else? Dolph Lundgren, who is a full-fledged good guy in this one now after being one of the villains in the first movie, and he's awesome. Who else? Terry Crews. He's Terry Crews. He's good at what he does. Randy Couture. You know, I'm a huge UFC fan, have been for years. I love Randy Couture as a fighter. I'm sorry, Randy, but you still can't act. You really can't. Thankfully, they cut his dialogue down in this movie, so I mean, you don't get to see too many moments of his poor acting. But, man, he needs work. Sorry, Randy. I love you, but God, work on it, please. Let's see. Well, obviously, Steve Austin didn't come back because his character was killed. who else from the first movie? Bruce Willis, who actually does not have a cameo in this one. He actually gets to do stuff. Same goes for Arnold Schwarzenegger, actually gets to do stuff in this movie. Let's see, is that everyone from the first film? I think it is. No Mickey Rourke this time, which was sad, because he had some pretty good dialogue in the first movie, and I was hoping I would see more of him in the sequel, but then he's nowhere to be found. So, disappointing, but what can you do? Beyond that, the newcomers, we got Chris Hemsworth, who also was not in very much of the movie, and when he was in there, he was good. I was kind of worried about that because, you know, I had a bit of trouble picturing him as an action star, but the way they used him worked. I mean, basically, instead of being the guy who goes down there and gets in the big fist fights and brawls and all that, he's the group sniper. And, you know, as that role, it works. You know, I can buy that. It's believable, it works. And we had Yu Nan, who I'm not very familiar with. It's a Chinese actress, the first female expendable, if you will, and she did well. She kicked some ass. Her acting was okay. No complaints there. And, of course, we have Chuck Norris, who really just has a glorified cameo in this movie. He shows up in the middle and, again, at the end, and that's about it. Kicks plenty of ass while he's there, and like Randy Couture, his acting is... But, I mean, he was never a great actor. That's just... He was always made for the action and not for the acting, but what can you do? And they do sneak a Chuck Norris joke into the movie. It's... It was cheesy as all hell. It was actually one I hadn't heard before, which surprised me, because I thought I had heard them all at this point, and I'm sure it's on the internet somewhere. Someone said it before, but it was new to me, at the very least. But, you know what, as lame as it was, I still laughed. It was funny. There were a lot of funny moments in this movie, actually. Just the banter between the Expendables, especially with Terry Crews and also with Dolph Lundgren. Those two had some of the funniest lines, and they do the comedy very well. That was a lot of fun to see. And who am I forgetting? Oh, yes! How could I forget Jean-Claude Van Damme, who actually plays the villain in this movie, and he is fucking good at it. I mean, that fool can be menacing as all hell. He was good. He was awesome in this movie. I mean, I think he pretty much stole the show. I loved him in this movie. And not only does he play the villain, but his name is also Villain. It's spelled V-I-L-A-I-N, and is pronounced Villain. But, yeah, you add one more L, it's Villain. Yeah, way to go, Stallone. You named your bad guy Villain. Subtle. Very subtle. Although I did look this up, and Villain is also the French word for ugly. So his name is John Ugly. Slightly more subtle. But yeah, there's really not much more to say. Really, the only other thing I didn't like, there was this subplot at the beginning of the film involving Jason Statham's character. Jason Statham. There we go. There. I knew I could say it. Can't talk tonight. But his character is apparently getting married, and while they're out on one of their missions, his fiancée keeps calling him, and he keeps answering his cell phone while they're trying to track down the nuclear materials that they've been sent by Bruce Willis to find. And he keeps getting these phone calls the whole time, and I'm wondering, like, you're in the middle of the Chinese wilderness. A horror movie victim cannot get a cell phone signal to save his life when he's in the middle of a major city. And yet you're in buttfuck nowhere, and you're getting 4 bars of 4G. What the hell? How does that work? How? And also, I don't care. I don't give a shit about your girlfriend. Just go out there and start blowing shit up, please. But thankfully, they dropped that subplot pretty quick. It's only in, like, the first act, and then it's gone. Thank God. But, yeah, that's That really, it's a minor complaint. Yeah, beyond that, it's a very fun movie. If you saw the first movie and you liked it, you'll like this movie. It's pretty much everything the first movie did, but better. If you didn't like the first movie, this might still be worth seeing. I mean, if you want to be cautious, wait for the DVD and give it a rental, okay, but this was better than the first movie, I thought. So, you know, even if you weren't a fan of the first movie, it might still be worth your time. And yeah, I guess that's about it. I'm looking forward to the Expendables 3 whenever that comes out, and I wonder who else they'll be able to pack into this thing. Hopefully Jackie Chan. I know he was offered a part in Expendables 2, had to turn it down because he was doing something else. Hopefully they can get him for the third one, because he's one of the few people that's missing at this point. Who else is missing? Well, there's Steven Seagal, but who cares? I mean, he's fat and unmotivated and would need a body double for the entire goddamn movie. Just no. I mean, if he can whip his ass back into shape, okay, but most likely no. Who else? Wesley Snipes, if he's motivated. Sure, why not? I don't know if he'd agree to do it, but, you know, if they can get him and he's willing to actually work hard, sure, why not? Who else? One other name I saw tossed around a bit was Michael Biehn, who I don't think I've seen since, like, Terminator and Aliens, and he's been working since then, but really hasn't been in anything major that I'm aware of. You know what? Give him another shot at a blockbuster. You know, I'm sure he can hack it. Be good to see him again. That's all I can think of at the moment. But if you guys have any other ideas, post them in the comments. I'd love to see what you think. Who should be in Expendables 3? Who have we left out? Aside from Jackie Chan, he's the obvious. We all want Jackie. We all want Jackie, of course. So yeah, that's about it. Until next time, take care.
You're gonna need a new plane.